Imagine two neighbors, both eat a big green salad every single evening. Both believe they're doing something wonderful for their health. But one of them has declining kidney function, and within just a few weeks, her legs begin to swell. Her creatinine climbs. Her doctor is alarmed. The salad that was keeping her neighbor healthy was quietly accelerating her kidney damage. That story isn't unusual. In fact, it plays out in clinics around the world every day. And the reason it happens comes down to something most people never think about. When your kidneys are struggling, the rules of nutrition change completely. I'm Dr. Naira Stein, a seniors health and wellness consultant. And if you're dealing with questions about kidney function, aging, or how your diet affects your long-term health, you're exactly where you need to be. Stay with me today, because what I'm about to share could genuinely protect your quality of life for years to come. We're going to walk through the 3 vegetables that research consistently shows can ease the burden on your kidneys and support their ability to filter and repair. And we're going to look closely at 3 vegetables that, despite their healthy reputation, can quietly cause serious damage to already vulnerable kidney tissue. One of the vegetables on our protect list is something most people walk right past at the grocery store. It's humble, inexpensive, and almost miraculous in what it does for the kidneys. Let's begin. Why kidney disease changes everything about food. To understand why certain vegetables become dangerous once kidney function declines, we first need to appreciate what the kidneys actually do, and what happens when they can no longer do it well. Healthy kidneys are extraordinary organs. Working around the clock, they filter roughly 180 liters of blood every single day. They remove waste products, things like creatinine and urea, that accumulate from normal cell activity. They maintain the precise fluid balance your body needs to function, and they carefully regulate the minerals circulating in your bloodstream: potassium, phosphorus, sodium, each one needing to stay within a very narrow range. When kidney function declines, as happens in chronic kidney disease, that filtration process becomes less efficient. Waste builds up, fluids accumulate, and certain minerals, the ones you're eating every day in your food, begin to reach levels your heart, bones, and blood vessels cannot safely tolerate. This is the heart of the problem. 2 substances in particular become genuinely dangerous once the kidneys can no longer clear them effectively. The first hidden danger: potassium. Potassium is an essential mineral. It helps regulate your heartbeat and nerve signals. In a healthy person, the kidneys constantly adjust how much potassium stays in the blood and how much gets excreted in urine. But when kidney function drops, that balance breaks down. Potassium accumulates. The consequence isn't subtle. When blood potassium rises too high, a condition called hyperkalemia, it directly interferes with the electrical signals that keep your heart beating in a steady, coordinated rhythm. At severe levels, it can cause irregular heartbeats, and in the most dangerous cases, the heart can simply stop. This is why nephrologists, kidney specialists, treat high potassium with such urgency. It is a genuine life-threatening emergency. The second hidden danger: oxalate. Oxalate is a naturally occurring compound found in many plant foods, particularly leafy greens. In someone with healthy kidneys, oxalate is filtered out and excreted without issue. But in someone whose kidneys are already weakened, oxalate behaves very differently. Inside the body, oxalate binds with calcium to form tiny crystals, calcium oxalate crystals. Think of them as microscopic shards of glass moving through the bloodstream. When these crystals pass through the delicate tubules of the kidney, the tiny channels, responsible for fine-tuning what stays in the body and what gets discarded, they can scratch, scar, and ultimately block those passageways. The result is inflammation, accelerated cell damage, and in some cases, acute kidney injury. For someone with already reduced filtration capacity, even a single large serving of a high oxalate vegetable can cause a measurable, harmful spike. It isn't a theoretical risk. It happens. With that foundation in place, let's talk about what to eat. Vegetable number 1, zucchini, the quiet protector. This is the vegetable I mentioned at the beginning, the one most people walk right past. Zucchini. It doesn't have the dramatic color of a beet or the superfood reputation of kale. It's mild, soft, and utterly unassuming. But for kidneys under stress, it may be one of the most valuable things on the produce shelf. Here's why. Most vegetables contain significant amounts of potassium. Zucchini is a rare exception. A 100-gram serving contains roughly 140 to 150 milligrams of potassium, remarkably low compared to most options. For someone managing kidney disease, this means they can eat a satisfying, filling portion of zucchini without triggering the kind of potassium surge that strains the heart and challenges what remains of kidney filtration function. The sodium content of zucchini is also nearly zero, This matters enormously. High sodium intake pulls water from cells into the bloodstream, raising blood volume and putting pressure on the fragile capillaries of the kidney's filtering units, the glomeruli. By choosing zucchini over higher sodium options, you're actively reducing that hydraulic stress with every meal. But perhaps zucchini's most impressive contribution is something less obvious. It's soluble fiber, particularly a compound called pectin. When pectin reaches the intestines, it absorbs water and forms a gel-like substance that coats the gut lining. This gel acts almost like a molecular net, trapping byproducts of protein breakdown, including urea, and preventing them from being reabsorbed through the intestinal wall and returned to the bloodstream. Without that intervention, those waste products would re-enter circulation and force the kidneys to filter them again. And again. Zucchini helps intercept that cycle before it begins. Preparation matters. Steam zucchini for 5 to 7 minutes rather than frying it. High-heat frying in oils adds unnecessary fats, strips some water-soluble nutrients, and introduces oxidative compounds that create additional work for the body. Lightly steamed, zucchini retains its fiber, its potassium advantage, and its gentle, supportive role in the digestive process. Vegetable number 2, red bell pepper, the vascular guardian. At first glance, red bell peppers and tomatoes seem like close relatives. Both are bright red, both come from the nightshade family, and both are common in cooking. But from the perspective of kidney health, they couldn't be more different. While tomatoes carry a significant potassium load, red bell peppers are among the lowest potassium vegetables available. That distinction alone makes them valuable. But what truly sets red bell peppers apart is their extraordinary concentration of vitamin C. Gram for gram, they contain roughly 3 times the vitamin C of an orange. And in the context of kidney and eye health, vitamin C does something critically important. It regenerates vitamin E. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant that lives in cell membranes, the thin protective sheath surrounding every cell in your body, including the cells of your kidney's glomerular capillaries. When free radicals, the damaging molecules produced by oxidative stress, infection, or metabolic activity, attack these membranes, vitamin E sacrifices itself to neutralize them. But once vitamin E has neutralized a free radical, it becomes depleted. Vitamin C steps in and restores it, giving it the ability to protect again. This cycle of renewal is essential for maintaining the integrity of delicate kidney tissues over time. Red bell peppers also contain powerful antioxidant pigments, carotenoids that give them their vivid color. These compounds act like a dedicated cleanup crew inside the body, targeting and neutralizing the inflammatory molecules that accumulate in aging tissues and contribute to scarring of the kidney's filtering units. Over time, this anti-inflammatory effect helps slow the progression of kidney fibrosis, the gradual replacement of functional tissue with scar tissue that marks the advance of chronic kidney disease. For maximum benefit, eat red bell peppers raw or very lightly cooked. A brief stir-fry of 2 to 3 minutes over high heat is sufficient. Vitamin C is water-soluble and heat-sensitive. Prolonged cooking destroys it. Pair bell peppers with a small amount of olive oil. Several of the protective compounds they contain are fat-soluble, meaning they're absorbed far more effectively when eaten with healthy fat. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil transforms a simple vegetable into a more powerful therapeutic meal. Vegetable number 3, cabbage, the gut-kidney bridge. If zucchini protects through what it lacks, and red bell pepper protects through what it contains, cabbage protects through a more systemic, less obvious mechanism, one that involves the gut as much as the kidney itself. There is a growing body of research on what scientists call the gut-kidney axis, the bidirectional relationship between intestinal health and kidney function. Here's the critical insight. When the gut lining becomes inflamed or permeable, toxins that should be eliminated through stool instead seep through the intestinal wall and re-enter the bloodstream. The kidneys then bear the burden of filtering out what the gut failed to contain. Damaged gut health means harder working, more stressed kidneys. Cabbage addresses this cycle directly. It contains sulforaphane, a sulfur-based compound that helps clear harmful bacteria from the gut, reduces intestinal inflammation, and supports the integrity of the gut lining. When the digestive environment is healthy, less metabolic waste reaches the bloodstream, and the kidneys can finally rest. Cabbage also provides substantial insoluble fiber, which acts as a physical sweeper through the colon, binding to waste products, adding bulk to stool, and moving toxins out of the body before they have a chance to be reabsorbed. This is particularly significant for kidney patients because constipation, a common problem in this population, can measurably raise creatinine levels. When waste sits in the intestines for too long, it gets recirculated rather than eliminated. There's one more benefit worth highlighting. Advanced kidney disease often creates a condition called metabolic acidosis. The blood becomes too acidic because the kidneys can no longer remove the acids produced by normal metabolism. The result is persistent fatigue, muscle pain, and disrupted sleep. Cabbage is an alkaline food. When it's metabolized, it provides compounds that help neutralize this excess acidity and restore the body's pH balance, creating conditions where cells can function and repair more effectively. One essential caution in preparation: never add salt to cabbage when cooking it for kidney health purposes. Sodium is one of the kidney's primary adversaries. It drives fluid retention and raises pressure on glomerular vessels. Season instead with garlic, ginger, herbs, or a squeeze of lemon. And avoid overcooking. Cabbage that still has a slight crunch retains its volatile sulfur compounds, the very molecules responsible for its protective effects. Steam or boil it briefly, just 5 to 7 minutes, and let it keep its structure. This next section is one I want you to pay very close attention to, because the 3 vegetables we're about to discuss are widely promoted as healthy, and in people with normal kidney function, they may very well be. But in someone whose filtration capacity is already reduced, they carry genuine risks that most people never hear about. Vegetable number 1, spinach, the hidden oxalate bomb. Spinach is one of the most celebrated vegetables in modern nutrition. It appears in smoothie recipes, salad bowls, and meal plans promoted by health influencers around the world. It's rich in iron, folate, and vitamin K. For someone with healthy kidneys, it can be part of a genuinely nutritious diet. But for someone with kidney disease, spinach represents a serious and underappreciated danger. And the threat doesn't come only from potassium. It comes from oxalate. Spinach is one of the highest oxalate foods in existence. When it reaches the digestive system, the oxalate it releases binds rapidly with calcium circulating in the blood, forming calcium oxalate crystals. Those crystals are small, sharp, and numerous, and when they enter the kidney's filtration channels, they behave like fragments of broken glass moving through narrow pipes. In a person with healthy kidney function, these crystals are typically filtered and excreted. But when the kidneys are already compromised, when the glomerular filtration rate has dropped and the tubules are already under stress, that self-clearing capacity is dramatically reduced. Crystals accumulate, they scratch the delicate tubule walls, they trigger inflammation, they cause scarring. In severe cases, a large oxalate load can precipitate acute kidney injury in someone whose baseline function was already fragile. The analogy I find most useful: imagine a filter that's already half clogged with debris. Now pour a bucket of sand through it. The system doesn't just slow down, it collapses. If you love leafy greens and don't want to give them up entirely, replace spinach with lower oxalate alternatives like lettuce or cabbage. The craving for greens can be satisfied safely. It just requires choosing the right ones. Vegetable number 2, beetroot. When blood building becomes blood threatening. Beetroot is one of those foods that has built a powerful reputation in the wellness world. Its deep crimson color suggests richness and vitality. It's frequently recommended for boosting energy, improving athletic performance, and, most relevant here, building healthy blood and combating the anemia that often accompanies kidney disease. That last claim is particularly problematic because it leads many kidney patients to actively seek out beetroot as a therapeutic food at precisely the wrong time. The reality is this: beetroot is among the most mineral-dense vegetables in the plant kingdom. Its potassium content is high, and when impaired kidneys cannot clear it efficiently, blood potassium climbs. As we discussed earlier, elevated potassium doesn't cause gradual, subtle symptoms. It threatens cardiac rhythm in ways that can escalate very rapidly. Beetroot also contains significant phosphorus. When phosphorus accumulates in the blood, the body attempts to balance it by pulling calcium out of the bones and teeth and releasing it into the bloodstream. This disrupts bone density over time, a real concern for older adults, and simultaneously drives calcium into blood vessel walls, causing arterial calcification and stiffening. The result is reduced blood flow through the already delicate capillaries of the kidneys, making it harder for them to filter and harder for tissues to receive the oxygen they need. There's a third mechanism worth understanding. Beetroot contains natural nitrates that dilate blood vessels, which is beneficial in healthy adults. But in someone with kidney disease, this vasodilatory effect can cause unpredictable swings in blood pressure. For kidneys already dealing with compromised filtration, sudden pressure fluctuations are like waves battering a weakened seawall. Every surge does incremental structural damage. If anemia is a genuine concern, and it often is in kidney disease, please work with your physician to find appropriate solutions. Medical-grade interventions exist specifically for this situation. Relying on beetroot as a nutritional remedy while assuming its risks are outweighed by its benefits is, for kidney patients, a dangerous trade-off that the evidence does not support. Vegetable number 3, celery juice, the wellness trend that backfires. Over the past several years, raw celery juice has become one of the most widely promoted health trends in popular wellness culture. Claims range from clearing skin and aiding digestion to detoxifying the body. Millions of people begin their mornings with a tall glass of it, believing they're doing something powerfully beneficial. For someone with kidney disease, this is one of the most important habits to reconsider. Celery has an unusual characteristic among vegetables. Its natural sodium content is relatively high compared to most plant foods. When consumed in whole form, chopped and cooked, the fiber slows the absorption of this sodium, and the digestive process moderates its entry into the bloodstream. But when you juice a large bunch of celery and drink the liquid concentrated form, you're receiving the sodium load of a significant quantity of celery in a single, rapid bolus. That sodium causes the body to retain water, expands blood volume, and raises blood pressure, all of which directly stress the kidney's filtration units. The potassium issue is equally serious. Juicing concentrates the potassium from a large volume of celery into a small glass. For someone with healthy kidneys, this might be harmlessly processed. For someone with impaired kidney function, drinking concentrated celery juice delivers a sudden, substantial potassium load that the kidneys simply cannot process quickly enough. The result can be an acute elevation in blood potassium, hyperkalemia, with everything that implies for cardiac stability. And then there's the fiber problem. Fiber is what normally keeps the gut's contribution to toxin elimination functioning. When you juice celery, you remove the fiber entirely. Without it, the minerals and electrolytes rush into the bloodstream with no buffering. The digestive system's natural pacing mechanism is simply gone. Instead of the gut sharing the elimination burden, the entire mineral load falls on the kidneys at once. If you want to include celery in your diet, use small amounts as a flavoring ingredient in cooked soups or stews. The heat reduces potassium content somewhat, and the fiber remains intact. But please, if your kidney function is already compromised, treat raw celery juice not as a health ritual, but as a risk, and avoid it accordingly. 3 golden principles to carry forward. Before we close today, I want to give you 3 foundational principles. Principles that go beyond any specific food list and shape the broader philosophy of protecting kidney function through diet. Principle 1. Sodium is the silent enemy of the glomerulus. The tiny filtering units inside your kidneys, the glomeruli, are surrounded by delicate capillaries operating under carefully regulated pressure. Salt disrupts that regulation. When sodium intake is high, blood volume increases, pressure rises, and those capillary walls are subjected to mechanical stress they weren't designed to sustain over long periods of time. Develop a genuine sensitivity to the sodium content of everything you eat. Not just table salt, but the hidden sodium in sauces, condiments, canned goods, and processed foods. Season your meals with herbs, spices, garlic, and ginger. Make steaming and boiling your primary cooking methods. Every meal prepared with care for sodium is a meal that protects what remains of your kidney function. Principle 2. Choose vegetables that hydrate without overloading. Not all vegetables carry the same mineral burden. When selecting what to eat, prioritize options with naturally high water content and low potassium. Zucchini, cucumber, white radish. These choices help maintain gentle fluid flow through the kidneys while providing nutritional value without the mineral accumulation risk. Think of them as soft partners for a system that needs to work efficiently without being overloaded. Principle 3. Learn to read your body's language. Our bodies are extraordinary communicators. Swollen ankles at the end of the day, deeper impressions left by socks in the evening, a metallic or unusual taste in the mouth, breath that has changed quality, fatigue that feels different, heavier, less relieved by rest. These are not random inconveniences. They are signals. They are your kidneys speaking in the only language they have. When you notice these signs, don't dismiss them. Revisit your diet. Make note of what you've been eating in the days before. Contact your physician. The earlier you respond to these signals, the more options you have. I want to be clear about something important before we close. Everything shared in this video is based on well-established nutritional science and is offered for educational and preventive purposes. It is general guidance intended to help you understand the relationship between food and kidney health. It is not a substitute for personalized medical care. Kidney disease exists on a spectrum. Early-stage chronic kidney disease carries different dietary parameters than stage 4 or 5 disease. Someone undergoing dialysis has entirely different nutritional requirements than someone who is managing their condition through medication and lifestyle changes. These distinctions matter profoundly, and no general video can account for them. If you have been diagnosed with kidney disease at any stage, please work with your nephrologist and a registered dietitian who specializes in renal nutrition before making significant dietary changes. They will interpret your specific lab results, your creatinine, your GFR, your potassium and phosphorus levels, and design a plan that is genuinely right for you. This is not a situation where one size fits all. I want to leave you with something I genuinely believe. Protecting your kidneys is not about deprivation. It is not about fear. It is not about eating less or enjoying food less. It is about becoming smarter and more intentional, about understanding what your body actually needs at this particular stage of your life, and giving it that with care and consistency. The kidneys don't need miracles. They need allies. Zucchini, red bell pepper, and cabbage, humble, accessible, inexpensive foods, can be true allies when chosen thoughtfully and prepared with care. And avoiding spinach, beetroot, and concentrated celery juice isn't a punishment. It's a form of respect for organs that are working hard every single hour of the day to keep you healthy. Small, consistent choices made with knowledge and intention compound over time. They shape how your kidneys age. They influence how you feel. They affect the quality and independence of the years ahead. That's why I do this work. And that's why I'm grateful you're here. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Talk to your doctor. And remember that every thoughtful meal you prepare is an act of care for yourself and for the organs that make your life possible. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you in our next conversation.